Welcome everyone to MMO Good to Go. This is Kelsendale bringing you an in-depth look at Path of Exile. Path of Exile is a free-to-play hack-and-slash MMO and is currently in closed beta. I'm sorry, an open beta. And the unique thing about this game is that it is not pay to win. The only thing that you make payments for in this game is to basically make your character look real pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and start this in-depth look at a brand new character. Here you have the name that you can pick, which is a 3-hour party race, hardcore and default. Default is obviously the easiest mode. Hardcore, the monsters are more difficult to kill, the zombies, the people, the enemies, the bugs, and yes, there will be bugs, as the game does state. And it's just more difficult for you to play. And the unique thing about it is, instead of like some games where if you die in hardcore, you lose that character outright, instead what happens is your character goes down to default level. So that's pretty neat. And then right here, which is a unique thing that they're doing, I'm not sure how long they're going to be doing the event for, but it's a 3-hour race with the party. So you have a party of however many you want to do, and the person who goes from level 1 to whatever you get to wins the event. Now I'm not sure exactly what all that entails, but it's pretty cool that the game is still in beta and they're already having events going out. So for me, that means a lot of good things are coming. As the other thing that really excites me is the fact that they do a lot of patching, and the patches aren't bad at all. So I really enjoy that. And what I mean by not bad is that they'll do a small patch and you won't even feel it, but it'll be to fix just a plethora of different things like the lag factor that they've been having. They do have multiple servers and so forth, but you really don't feel it. And the servers actually, if you're in a party with a friend and you happen to be on different servers, you leave to the next area, it puts you in the same area as your friend, and then when you go back to one of the main villages, which the first one's called Lion Eyes, and when you go back to Lion Eye, it automatically throws you and your party together. So I like that. Alright, so we have here the Templar. Comes out, gives his little story. The Shadow. The Marauder. The Ranger. The Duelist. And lastly, the Witch. Right here. So, the unique thing that I really enjoy about this game is that you could choose to be the Witch, who is obviously the damage dealer, a big DPS person, magic, things go boom, everything good. But you can take the Witch and turn her into a dual-handed swordswoman, I guess. Or you could take the Marauder, who is a tanky fighter, as is the Templar. He's more of a support fighter. But you could take these guys and turn them into just straight up magic if you chose. Or you could take the Ranger and turn her into magic. So it really it's unique, all the different ways that you can build your characters. So I'm gonna go ahead and be, in my opinion, the one that's the most fun, which is the Shadow. I'm just gonna create another one, so just throw a few L's in there and get started. Now the reason why he's the most fun for me is that his abilities are just, and really you could do this with anybody, but right off he could do it. So let's get the game started and I'll be right back. Alright, and we're back. Sorry, I was having some server issues with my own computer, or my local internet. So here we have my guy passed out. We'll go ahead and pick up this glass shank. Now everybody starts off with an item that has, basically it matches your class. And I'll get more into items in the details of them as time progresses, so we'll just press forward. Talk to this guy. Zombie comes alive, and you get your first item. Double strike. So, you start off with 3 flasks. 2 of them, health, 1 mana. Unique thing about this game is that instead of purchasing individual flasks or having to do something to fill them yourself, you're instead regenerated as you kill enemies. So you're out of mana, out of health, and you don't have any potions, just kill something, and it'll refill back up. Wisdom scrolls, they identify items, so you'll get blue, yellow, and orange items that need to be identified every time they're dropped. All you got to do is right click on it. You'll see a little bitty version of it on the mouse, and then you take it to whichever item you want to use. Then we have double strike, which is the item I just picked up from over here, and it performs a double slash. It's an okay item to start with. There are better items. To equip it, you don't put it into your character sheet or anything like that. This is your character sheet. You press C to pull that up. I is for inventory. The way you do it instead is your weapon has slots on them. This one and all starter weapons have 3 slots. Red represents strength, you can see that here. Blue, intelligence, and green is dexterity. So most of the characters that are going to be quick and agile, like rangers and this person here, with Shadow, they're going to be dexterity builds. So you're going to see dexterity on this, and this guy actually builds intelligence as well. So it's always useful to get some intelligence also. Alright, so we'll go ahead and left click it, put it into the item. Now don't be afraid that, and this is how I was when I first played, putting it into the slot does not make it bound. So you can always take it off, put it on. If you pick up a better weapon, put it on a better weapon, get rid of that other one. Just because you don't have a weapon that you want to use doesn't mean that you don't use your gems. They level up just like you do. It's based off of damage. You see where it says 1 of 70 at the bottom. That means it's 69 points away from leveling up to level 2. Down here, we have your default attack, left click. I'll go into the character sheet more a little bit later. So, left click is also to move. So there's 2 ways to attack. One is to go to your enemy, if I can find one. Now, another unique thing about this game is that every single time you go into an instance, it's different. So like this right here at the beginning, this is the first time I've played in where it looks like this. See, it's dropped a blue item, and it's unidentified. And you can't even equip it until you identify it. So you just right click, left click onto it. That's pretty good actually. Reduces recovery speed, but that's okay. We'll be fine with that. It's for mana. So to attack, you left click on the enemy. If you're left clicking at the enemy and you're not directly on the enemy, you will literally walk around until you've found the enemy. See? If I left click and move my mouse, it's okay, but the other way to attack is you hold shift and click. This is useful for rangers and for other ranged characters like well, I guess if you equipped a bow. So they attack in the direction you're facing, or your mouse is. Alright, so let's see. And because it's He is an accuracy person. He hits better than most people at this level, but I will admit that you are going to miss a lot, especially as a ranger. They'll be right in front of you and you're just going to miss. Okay, so that's left click. You can change left click by clicking on it, and I have double strike, which is from here, and then move only, so I can just move only instead of having to worry about accidentally attacking something. Okay, same thing here. Do that, and it throws in double strike. Close that, and whenever you put a gem on, it automatically fills the slot, so it's really useful in case you forget or can't remember what it looks like. So here's double strike. It's already there. So if I took it off. If I click there, there's double strike. You see the mana go down. Your life's on this side, and you build shields as well on top of your life. That's going to be a bright light blue streak going across here, and the bigger it is, the bigger the streak is, and it covers this area. Alright, so I'm one-hitting these guys, so I got that going for them. You want to always open barrels, always open chests. The little guys hide in the water. There we go. Missing a lot. Okay, now you see my health is really low. Now we go into the character sheet, and you have 4 tabs. The first one is your offense. These are your things that you're basically doing. This is your combined damage, 3 to 11. Your accuracy rating is only 44, and it's based off of this. Because I don't have any items that add dexterity yet. Main hand critical strike multiplier, and then critical strike. So this one right here is my chance of getting a crit, which is 8.7, and then down here is 150% damage. So if I was going to do 10 damage to him, I would do 15 instead if I crit hit him. So that's pretty neat. Miscellaneous, that's going to show if you have a ring that allows you to find rare items more often. That's where you're going to find that. Charges, you get different charges for. They're part of your skill tree, and they go with different things that are in your skill tree. That's going to have to be another video once I get a character up high enough that actually can use it. And then your defense is your evasion rating, chance to evade, and then your resistance and mana regen and health regen, which I have 0.9 mana regen. So if you see me do a double strike, you'll see my mana goes up really, really slowly. Okay, so use a potion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are always going to be your potions. Always remember that. Always use them, especially. Okay, go ahead and pick up this. Armor scraps. I don't have any armor, but when I get some armor, I'll show that. Let's go ahead and clean up this real quick. Oop, left him behind. Keep missing. I hate the little guys that shoot at you, because as you get to a higher level, there's some of them that sprout some of their skin off, and then they're really hard to click on. So I'm now level 2. Let me clear out these peeps, and I'll show you what happens when you hit a level. And I should also be getting close to leveling up my gym, so that'll be good. No, sorry, I had it muted. So you have one passive skill point when you level. There's two ways to get to it. You can click on this button, or you can press P for your passive skill, and it takes you to this. I'm going to call it a sphere grid just because I played Final Fantasy X a lot, as well as 7. So this reminds me of a Final Fantasy X and 7 hybrid type deal. So in this tree, you have, and there's abilities that are down here. See, it says max frenzy charges and so forth. That's what those are for. But here you have a tree. The two glowing are the directions that you can go. Sometimes you can have more than two glowing, like here. If you went for mental acuity, it'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 glowing. So that'll be useful and a bit of a pain when you get there, but that's if you decide to go that direction. And the cool thing about this is the sphere grid is huge. Each of these represent a different character. So like a witch will start here, or I can't really tell you who starts where, but I know a witch is here, and a marauder is on this side, I believe, and the archer is over here. But we're not any of those. We're here. This is what we're going to start with. So I have attack speed and spell damage. And the reason why you want spell damage is because your abilities are going to hit harder. So if you want to do spell damage or do intelligence, that'll help you out. Sorry, I was just making sure I wasn't getting attacked. There was a weird noise. So I want to go attack speed because I'm going to be a dual weapon specialist. So you could check dexterity, dexterity, dexterity. Here's some strength here. Life, life, one-hand damage. And the one-hand damage actually stacks because technically you're using two one-handed items. So it moves into both weapons. So I don't know how that really works out in that way, but it's not just for your strong arm, it's for both weapons and both hands. And you have movement speed, projectile damage, which I'm not going to be shooting arrows or anything, so I'm not going to go that route. Up here you have spell damage, cast speed, so if you're going to be casting spells, elemental damage, magic, your magic using fire, ice, if there's water, lightning. I think there's only fire, lightning, ice, freeze, and these are the different elements right here. And then you also have chaos, which is technically not an element. So there is an awesome JavaScript program that will be in the show notes down at the bottom, next to the link to play the game, and it'll be before the Facebook link to MMO Good to Go, but it'll be in between there, and there will be a link to the wiki, which you should definitely read because there's buku information in the wiki. And then the other link will be to this awesome JavaScript that'll allow you to, outside of the game, create a whole a tree for one character, and you can save it, and you could just refer back to it and make alterations to that, and it won't affect your character because it's not connected. And somebody took a lot of time to make that, and I really appreciate it. So I already used my point. I won't be getting this dexterity because I'm going to build this direction. So we'll go from there. Alright, so moving on. There's other things that you can knock over other than the treasure chest. There's boulders that you can find, and there's just really a lot of different things. I don't have the chat on because it becomes encumbersome, but there's a chat system in this game for the different areas, like trade and global, local. And the reason I don't have it on is because, like I said, it becomes encumbersome. There's just so much to read because people are always giving advice, and that's the other good thing about this game is if you don't know what to do, just ask. Press enter to pull up your chat, and this is global. Is Terra any good? It went FTP, I think. Oh, well, there. Talking about a different game, which I also have a what's it's for it, but these people, I mean, if you have a question, just ask it. Don't feel dumb because everybody starts off noob at some point. But their community is very helpful, and I really appreciate that because I mean, there's some games where you play and they're just like, uninstall, really? Why are you still playing? And that's not the attitude that we need to have when it comes to new players. It really hurts the genre, or well, the genre too, but it hurts the game, and you don't want to see a game fail. Um, I don't personally, but you know, and this game is created by simple guys that just wanted to make a great game. The music on this game is outstanding. Uh, Everything really. I mean, the game looks good. The water looks good. It looks realistic. Okay, my gym just leveled up, and all you got to do is click this if you can level it up. If you can't level it up, it'll be gray. But because I have enough dexterity and I'm a level 2 already, I'm able to level it up. So I'll just go through here, keep killing the guys. I haven't had any items drop, which is really crappy, but whatever. Your items drop, the drops for the items get better the bigger the party is. I have like 0 armor, tower shield. I guess I can use that until I get something. Thought that was a fish. Another splinter tower shield. I don't want to get it just because well, I haven't got very many drops. It takes up a lot of space, so I didn't want to grab it, but I don't have any items, so it's not going to make a difference. The other thing about this game is this area right here, see there's no tabs. This is all you get. There's no more. So once this part of your inventory is full, you gotta use a waypoint or a teleport scroll, portal scroll, and go back, dump stuff off, go back and pick up the rest of the stuff. It kind of sucks, but I mean, you get used to it. You get over it. Get over yourself. So, and as you can see in this splinter tower shields, this one has 1 red slot, and this one has a green and a blue. And this one's unique because it has the green and blue combined together. So I'm going to use that just because I use green more than I do anything else. So if I don't happen to find an extra weapon and I get another gem, I can use it. But when they're linked together like that, one of them you put in, say, double strike, and in this one you put added cold damage or added lightning damage, and it adds that attribute to whatever it's attached to. So that's pretty useful. I try to get as many of those as possible. The really, really awesome thing to me about this game is that you could take a weapon that's useless and turn it into something pretty freaking awesome. So this guy right here is yellow. His name is Hillock. He's the first person you'll fight. He's in every single one of them. And basically you just got to kill him. He hits pretty hard. So I'm going to be spamming my health and my potion because I'm going to use it just straight up that if I could ever freaking hit him. Okay, I'm not hitting him, so I'm going to move. There he goes. And he's dead. So, see the items? You got Driftwood Club, which is yellow, a blue item, another Scroll of Wisdom, another white item, and a Mana Flask. So, that's pretty useful. Right click on Scroll of Wisdom, bring it down, and it reveals all the attributes that it has. So this one has 16% increased physical damage, adds fire damage, adds attack speed, lifesteal, and accuracy. This one's unidentified, and increased physical damage. plus 5 to accuracy, so increased physical damage, kind of useless for a mage. But again, you can build whatever you want. So if you have a mage that you're wanting to build and you pick up an item like that, that's like, wow, this does so much damage, physical damage, just build a physical mage. People do it. I mean, it's really up to you. This is the area in this map. It's called Lionized Watch. If you put up a portal, this is where the portals are going to appear. That guy's level 54. See, he looks pretty cool. He didn't pay any money for it. People with quests, right here. Continue, continue. This guy over here, he, Tarklai, he gives you an item for killing that other guy. So, and it's a gem. So we got Dual Strike, Fire Trap, and Freezing Pulse. Now, Dual Strike is different from Double Strike. Dual Strike's actually pretty awesome. I always recommend to get Dual Strike. It attacks really, really fast. Okay, down this direction is your waypoint. Click on it, you can see this. These are the next areas that you need to go to. This is where you just went, and this is where I'm at. Lionized Watch. So, Nessa sells items and purchases items from you. So I want to get rid of all these things that I'm not going to use. Especially that. This is worthless for this level. Now this right here, it's a decent weapon, but because I'm building a shadow, I'm not going to use it. So I'm going to sell that as well. And it's a bartering system. There's actually no cash in the game. To me, that's pretty neat. These right here, they stack, and it says stack size 2 to 5, and 5 stacks create 1 scroll of wisdom. Then you have alteration shards. 20 of them create 1 alteration orb. And if you play this game, orbs are going to be something that you hear on a regular basis, along with these right here, gems. So I'm going to go into my stash, which is this, and just check out and see what I have. Oh, and social friends, S. I have 2 friends, they're both offline. I haven't really added anybody. You see me, feel free to add me. Kelsendel, of course. Kelsendel with multiple L's. I have several characters, so. Status message. So if you want to add somebody, and you just right click on their name and you add them. It's a pretty easy system. This person right here, right click on her, add as friend, invite to party, whisper, trade. So stash, you're gonna have a lot of drops, some that you want to keep, some that you don't want to keep. Like this weapon right here, it's okay. It's not really the best, but and I mean it's base. It's a base item, and it only has 1 green slot. You know, this shield. I don't know why they didn't give me any items, which is unusual, but I really didn't get any drops. So like the Splinter Tower here, it's okay. It adds 9 armor, but I'm not going to build any armor at all. I'm going to build straight up evasion because that's what I am. I'm a dexterity build. So in here I have a whole mess of items saved. These are from my other characters. You see it's red. This means I can't use them at all. And this is where you store your gems and everything else. So like right here I have scrolls of wisdom. I want to pick those up. Again, orbs are going to be something that you hear a ton of. So let me show you the benefits of having orbs and all the other things too. So let's say I got 0 drops. I don't like my weapon. So I'm going to go purchase something from this guy. So let me find a sword I want. 4 to 8 damage. This is 3 to 11. 9 to 5. Or I'm sorry, 9 to 18. And it's a 2-handed weapon, so I want a 1-handed weapon. This is 1-handed rusty sword, 1-handed rusted sword. Okay, and it costs 1 scroll of wisdom, so I'm gonna buy something with green on it. And they don't have any for sale. Okay. Nailed fist. Nailed fist and a nailed fist. So, and they both, and all these have life still on them. And I'm going to be a dual wielder, so I'll buy that, and I'll buy this. Okay. So, here we have my character. Go ahead and throw that on. And throw that one on. And we'll take the gem out. Don't forget your gems. See, there's my nailed fists. So now I'll run around punching stuff. Get rid of these things. Sell. Accept. Make sure I put my gem back. Oh, that actually. Let's take this gem out and we'll put this in. And we'll just save this one because I don't really use double strike. I use dual strike. Very useful. This guy here sells armor and wrong button. Armor and weapons. So here you can have the archers. They have a lot of options for archers. Their items change. I don't know how often they change or when they change, but you won't always find the exact same thing every time you go. Nessa, she sells rings, necklaces, or amulets, and belts, as well as magic stuff. So you can get an orb of alteration or orb of transmutation here. And then when you get to the next area, which you press U for that, see right here it says Act. You'll have 3 other tabs. One is Act 2, Act 3, and soon to be Act 4. And the highest level you can be right now is level 100. So, also I should mention, this right here, at enemy at the gate, Hillock, which I killed, he was down here. This little bar in the middle represents completed. This represents the need to do quests, and the question mark with the gold around it is the location. So we're going to come back over here. So I have 2 items, both pretty fail, I guess, if you want to say it that way, but they've got nothing on them. So you have your orbs that you can use. This one right here stacks to create one of these guys. So transmutation shard, orb of transmutation. So that guy's not something we want. We have chromatic orb, orb of chance, orb of augmentation, regret, jeweler, chaos, and alteration, and scouring. And I don't have one, but I used it last night. So I don't have one of those. But it's a orb of alchemy, which is very, very useful. Oop. Let's put that. Okay. So all these right here, they do different things to your items. So reforges the links between the sockets. So like, let's say this one right here was just a red and a green. Sorry, red and green, and it didn't have this little link, and instead it was just the 2 dots like this right here has. Then what you would do is you get this guy and you right click it and it'll fuse them together. So these are very useful. That's an orb of fusing. Orb of alteration reforges a magic item with a new random property. So I'm going to go ahead and use a not an orb of chance, this one, orb of transmutation. So I right click on it, you see this guy has nothing on him except for +3 life gain. Click it and I have increased critical strike chance now. So and it's now blue. So it just increased the value of the item as well as made it more dangerous, a little bit more dangerous. It's not that big of a deal. Then you get a Orb of Alteration, and it changes it. Now I gain 1 mana when I kill an enemy, which I don't like that. There we go, some more physical damage. Then I take the Orb of Augmentation, and it adds another attribute on top of that. So now I have 7 lightning resist. So that's not too bad now. I do the same thing with this one. Take it, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. So take this guy, bam. Oh, that gave me 2. Adds 1 to 10 lightning damage and life gain when I kill an enemy. And then we'll take one of these guys, and it won't let me go any farther. It's always worth a shot to see if it'll take it higher. So put double strike, oh, I'm sorry, dual strike back on it. Then you have the Chromatic Orb. Chromatic Orb is a very, very useful orb. Let me move the guys I've already spoken about. And I'm going to move that right there so you can see it. Chromatic Orb takes, well, we'll take this one for example. See, it has a green and red. When you use a Chromatic Orb, it changes the properties of both of them. So it could end up being a blue and green, or a red and red. And it just randomly changes it. So if you have one that has a bunch of slots on it, like this guy here has 3, and you want them all to, you just want one to change, then I probably wouldn't waste my time on it. Instead, I would get one like this where it has 1, and you right click on it, take it over there, left click, and it'll change the color. The problem with it is random, and you don't really know what it's going to be. So it could, I don't know if it's possible, but it might even come out to be the exact same thing you already had, which would suck. Alright, moving forward, Orb of Chance upgrades a normal item to a random rarity. So that means you have 3 chances of a rarity. It could turn out to be blue, could turn out to be yellow, or even more rare, could turn out to be orange, which I have not owned an orange item yet. And it's completely random, as well as the stats are random. I don't use them very often unless it's an item that I really hope I can get it to something that's valuable to me. Jeweler's Orb, it takes, like this guy here has 1 slot. You right click on it, take it over there, he'll have 2 slots. Pretty simple, straightforward. Orb of Regret we'll cover in a second. Chaos Orb reforges a rare item, which is this right here, with random properties. So you get a rare item, does a lot of stuff, but you want it to do more. The Orb of Chaos will change everything on it and hope for the best. Really, that's all I could say about that one. Alright, and that's the Chaos Orb. So we'll move that guy over. Next we have the Orb of Regret. Sometimes when you play a game that has many options, you screw up. And I know I have. So basically what the Orb of Regret does is it gives you a respec point, and it allows you to, let's say you went this route here, and you did the cast speed, and you get to mental acuity, and you're like, or you get here and you're like, what the heck was I thinking? You use your Orb of Regrets and it'll take you back 2 points, and then you can spend them somewhere else. So they're a pretty rare item. They're used for bartering. All these orbs are actually used for bartering. The Chaos Orb, Orb of Regret, the Alchemy, not the shards, the Alchemy Orbs are used very, very heavily for bartering. And so I would always recommend keeping your Alchemy shards unless you have just a plethora of them. Otherwise, it's to me, they're priceless. What the alchemy shard does, which I don't have any, and I'm sorry, but it takes a normal item. So I don't think I have any normal items. Well, I have these. Okay. Takes a normal item like this flask right here. Right click on it, drop it into there, and it turns it into a yellow item. And it's a really OP item to have, and I highly recommend keeping those. You can use them to buy a lot of different things. Um, but personally, I would do what I just did with these items, which is go find one or find an item that you want, and that's laying on the ground throughout the game, and then use the alchemy shard or the alchemy orb on it, and that's the best thing to do with that. You have, wow, level 14. We have the blacksmith whetstone. Increases the quality. Now you can't see it yet, but when I right click and drop it here, quality goes up by 2% on this item. Sometimes it goes up by 1%, sometimes it's 2. It's really random. But basically what the quality does is it eventually increases the physical damage. So you see now it says 4 to 11 instead of 3 to 11 like it did before. So that's what those are. Next we have the armor scrapped. They do the exact same thing as the blacksmith's whetstone, except they do it to armor. Those are more common than the whetstones. You get the glass blower's bauble. Very useful item. I can't use any of these higher tier items. Like this right here is a grater, requires level 18, level 14, level 4, which I'm not yet, and a hybrid flask, which hybrid, pretty self-explanatory, does magic or mana and life. Very useful items. And then I have a quicksilver flask, which makes me move faster. But it takes one of these guys. I'm going to just use it on one of these. And I'll use it here. And it increases the quality. And the quality reacts to the recovery. So if I use another one, same item, throws it up to 66% life over 6 seconds. So if I'm getting slapped around by a powerful enemy, this potion's going to work out better, and it sells better. So this one's a superior small life flask now, and instead of just a small life flask like these other guys. Well, not that one. Then we have an Orb of Scoring. The Orb of Scoring takes an item, any item, and strips it completely naked back to a white item. So it doesn't sound very useful, but say you have an item like this one right here, and just the stats on it are just completely dirt, and but you really want to keep the item. Then instead of going out and purchasing one, then you just use your Orb of Scoring and just strip it completely naked of all of its additional stats. So they don't sound super useful, but they are eventually when it makes more sense. Alright, then we have rings and amulets. So this ring right here, the Shining Coral Ring of Plunder, they have several different colors of rings, types. This one is a coral ring. This one here is a sapphire. There's also a topaz, a silver, and a gold that I've seen so far. And the difference in the coloration or the type, this one, the coral rings always increase life. The sapphire always have cold resist, and the golds always have increased rarity of items found. The topaz have lightning resist, I think. Let me check just to make sure I'm right. The power ring, that's power. Got to boost up the power. Has mana regen, or I'm sorry, mana. And then you have the iron ring, which is physical damage. Really, all you got to do is purchase one of these guys, or find one on the floor and use your items on them. It's the best way to do it. Um, the Orb of Alteration actually has more than one use. If you shift click, you can grab a couple of them, move them over here. Let's throw that guy. To move them all, you press Control and click, and it'll move the whole stack over. And we'll sell these guys and their Scrolls of Wisdom. So if you run out of Scrolls of Wisdom, now I have 9. That's a way to keep them. Portal Scrolls, they teleport you. Pretty self-explanatory. Honestly, the stash is your personal bank. You don't have to pay anything for it. Now you can buy more slots, which some people do. I'm sorry, more tabs. So I have the 4 tabs that it comes with. I do keep some items just because I haven't had the chance to read through them, or I'm saving them for a different character. And I have this page here of shards, or I'm sorry, gems. And these are just all the gems that I've accumulated off my characters so far. So I have Dual Strike, and I'm looking for another green Rolling Blades. That's the one I want. That requires level 4. Let's see if I have a lower level. Wait. Nope, requires level 4. So, but these are just a small portion. I mean, all of these that I have here are low level. And as you can see here, Dual Strike, it's all, this Dual Strike is pretty low. It's level 1. Let's see, I should have another Dual Strike somewhere. Double Strike. Double Strike. Well, here I could compare Double Strikes. Man, I have so many stupid Double Strikes. Okay. So all these are Double Strike. And this one right here is level 1. Level 2, level 1. But you notice level 2, it says 3% increased physical damage. Level this one right here is level 4, and it increases 9%. So as the gems level up, they deal more damage, or they gain more health, or they summon stronger zombies, or they deal more fire damage, or they freeze better. And it just depends on which gems that you have. Any questions? Too bad. Alright, and give me just a minute and I will show you what a higher level duelist can do. And I'll be right back. Alright, and we're back. I know I said higher level duelist, and I meant a higher level, this guy, Shadow. So if you look at my items, you'll see I only have 1 slot there, 3 slots there. I have a whole mess of runes. Not a lot, but you know, a decent amount. If you look at all my items, they don't have any armor. If you go into your character sheet, defense, I have 384 defense, but I don't have any. I can't find my armor because I don't have any armor. I have 0 armor. And I do apologize, I'm getting a friend invite. As soon as this loads up, there we go. So, as you can see, I have a whole bunch of items. Whirling Blade is this one right here. And it really is as fun as he looks like he is. I have Clarity, which some of you might harp on me for, but you know what? For now, because my mana regen is so pathetic, I'm going to use Clarity. Cool thing about this game is that I can dodge this guy as long as I can move. He can't shoot me. Oh, he shot me. Nope. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And, see my energy shield right there? Just went back up. He took out 20 of my energy shield. So, it goes up pretty quick. Really, that's my saving grace for this character is the energy shield. But, this is part of why he's so fun. Doink. Dead. So, if you look at my items, I have right here, I have dual strike, and then it also has added cold damage. I don't know why I still have anger on. And then right here, I have viper strike, and I have added cold damage. I don't have any other cold damage or lightning or fire damage, so I would add them, but I just don't have them yet. So. But he thinks he's going to get away, and he's not. Why? Because this item is awesome. So Flicker Strike is just so much fun. And like I said, you can use these items on anybody. I'm level 22 on this character, and my strength is low, and so my intelligence isn't that high either. But as you can see, my dexterity is higher. Here's my skill tree that I have so far. Attack speed, I went for the one-handed damage, acceleration to increase my attack speed again. And then I did one-hand damage, repartee. And then I went that way, there, and then I also did damage with dual wielding. And then increased health. So that's why I have 369 HP. But my mana is still really low. And so is my mana regen. And mana regen you're going to get from items like your necklace or your, really all your items. But almost everything I have on me is yellow, with the exception of my amulet and my chest armor. I think everything else is yellow. And then I have these larger, much larger flasks. So see here, I can't upgrade, and the reason is because my intelligence is only 52, or it needs to be 52. So when I level up next, I'm going to get intelligence, that one right there, and then I'm going to get this one as well. And the reason being is because, like I said, this guy is an intelligence as well as a turned it off. Intelligence as well as dexterity. So I haven't really built any intelligence. So I'll just show you a little bit more of what he can do. See, there's a little bit of lag in it. And this is why I was saying do the dual strike over. See how fast he attacks? And if you were to do double strike, it is just way slower than that. So that's why I went with dual. And I actually got dual strike pretty early. You get it, I want to say around level 5. And the reason you get it around level 5 is because whenever you complete a quest, they give it to you. So that's really nice. And they also give you Viper Strike, Dual Strike, Whirling Blades, Flicker, and Ethereal Knives. But it's a bunch of items that you get to pick and choose from. So, but notice that my potions right here, my flasks, are empty. So as I kill stuff, the flasks fill up. Bam! Oop, missed him. Then you have tribal chests. Jeweler's Orb. So, alright, well that's going to do it for this in-depth look at Path of Exile. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down at the bottom. If I got something completely wrong, please, please, please correct me. I don't want to give out bad information, so all the information that I can give, I would like it to be accurate and good. And I know that I'm not an expert on this game. I just want to give you a brief overview of what I have learned and how at level 2, 3, 4, and so forth you can apply it going forward. Um, Please feel free to leave any comment. Hit the thumbs up or thumbs down button, as they do help the channel grow. And also join us on Facebook at MMO Good to Go. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And this is Kelsendell with MMO Good to Go, and this MMO is definitely good to go. I recommend it. 2 thumbs up.